connecting your brain and body with interactive games and tests. Why is there no physical activity in today's health physical? Trazer is an holistic technology used to rehabilitate, prevent falls, and improve sport performance. Trazer reports provide you, your clinician, your physical therapist, or athletic trainer objective data to make decisions on your health and performance over time. Measure what matters to change your game. Take the Trazer Challenge. Confidence, growth, connected by Trazer.
Okay, TA.
This the Carousel, the host Al Fleming came to lock the game like my name Val Demings. Fantasy and flavor, yeah. New edition. The intro to the show is brought by True Ambition. Round and round we go. Shouts out to Eric Wilson. Knowledge for your wins, all you gotta do is listen. Hungry for info, food for thought, got all your fixing. You know, FOO, value facts over opinion. 4-3-3-4, my defense beats our system. Injury report, winning while I'm grinning. Dominate the point of attack from the line of scrimmage. For long as you can't beat my squad, go gather all your minions. Carousel, yeah. Carousel, yeah. Carousel, this the Carousel. On or you're off, either you're on or you're off, either you're on or you're off. What? Knock 'em out.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel. I'm your man, Eric Wilson, filling in for our brother, Alex Fleming, and we got to keep the show rolling. Got a jam-packed show tonight because, as you know, it is Week 11 here in the NFL. So I got a lot of people to talk to. I got a lot of questions that I need answered. And I'm actually finally going to have a conversation with a fellow Eagle brother of mine so we can talk about our team and where we're at. But I got to start the show by bringing a familiar face back to the family. We had a conversation many, many moons ago when this whole thing started. And as Alex likes to say, it's a football world and we just live in it. So I want to reintroduce back for the first time, as Luda says, my man, Mr. John Turner in the building. Whoops. There we go. What's up, John?
Hey.
Welcome back, my brother. How are you?
It's good to see you. Thanks for having me back on. I got my Disney princess blanket hung up. You see, when you live in the mountains, you heat your house with a pellet stove, and you got to block off certain sections to keep the heat moving to where you need it to be. So that's the explanation. I don't have one of those green screens, okay? This is my green screen, but it's a Disney princess blanket. It's one of my daughter's blankets. This weekend when she gets here, I'm going to take it down so she don't know I'm doing that with her.
John, man, I got to talk to you because it's been a minute since we've talked football with a true guru like yourself. I don't really want to focus on your Washington football team. I got some people saving that for later. I just want to talk to you about some of the things that have transpired since COVID has happened and just the NFL as a whole. And you have a very working knowledge and understanding of the intricacies of the game and also what goes on behind the scenes. So I want to ask you first, give me your feelings on this whole taunting rule with regards to how it's being conducted versus should they keep it?
So every year for the last 3 or 4 NFL seasons, we hear about coming into the year, the league is pressing the officials who are not working full-time for the league. These officials are also working college games. Some of them are contracted with certain college conferences, and then they work AFC games or they work NFC games or they work NFL games at random. And they can also work for spring leagues that seem to pop up or, the Canadian Football League, God forbid, they got to go all the way up there and work in the cold. But these guys are asked to emphasize keeping an eye on certain types of penalties, and it seems to be a different penalty every year. Last year it was what was it last year? They were talking about ticky-tack penalties, and I think it referred to like the contact between a DB and a receiver.
Okay.
You know, if there's just a little bit of contact, we don't need a flag. Well, now this year they want to emphasize taunting. And as we get into the future, and I don't know how old you are. I'm 41.
Well, I'm a little older. I'm 45. So
okay, so we're kind of right. We're both Generation X, you know, guys. Okay, you know as well as I do. Every year that goes by, the players are getting a little bit younger, except for Tom Brady and some kickers, right? But you know, for the most part, these 21s and 22-year-olds that are coming in, these guys are social media driven kids. They want to make sure they got that blue check next to their name before they turn 23. And you know, and they're updating their stat. Look at Dwayne Haskins was updating his Instagram between practice snaps the other day, caught heat for. Okay, but so this is what we're dealing with. This is the kind of young player we're dealing with. These guys want to mob up and huddle up after a turnover in the end zone and do a group whatever kind of video selfie thing in front of the camera now. Everybody's got to have a new celebration to up jump the last new type of invented celebration that just came out. I mean, Joe Horn and Terrell Owens, they were the GOATs. They were the originators. I mean, they were the guys that really, I mean, they brought a cell phone to the game. They brought Sharpies, gave out autographed balls on the clock. You know what I mean? These guys were actually deep thinking, celebratory type of guys. I mean, the man stood on the 50-yard line in Big D, put his foot on the ball, on the helmet, and put his arms out like, can you dig it? All right, nobody did that in Dallas before T.O., and he paid the iron price for it. Oh, yeah. But, I mean, you know, now everybody, it's like that stare down, that point, that, you know what I mean? I used to be a B-boy for a long time, and I taught B-boying, breakdancing, for a lot of years. My son is a very good B-boy, and he can get in that circle, and he is going in. Okay, so he knows how to up rock and do footwork and battle and really show and prove on the hardwood floor what taunting is all about. Exactly. Through hip hop, right, in that genre. But in football, it really doesn't play a role in the owner's model of business. They frown upon it. Okay. A lot of fans that pay big money for tickets, they don't like to see it. They go, it's just a load of bull. They ought to, you know, get rid of that altogether. And these guys are getting younger and younger. And I don't know if you have a TikTok. I don't personally have TikTok, but a lot of people, this new word, influencer. Are you an online influencer? You know what I mean? They want to be influencers. I mean, hell, even Patrick Mahomes, he's not even a showboat, but his little brother is on the sideline taunting. Okay, he's got a little caged in area where he can do his dances and things like that. So I mean, like, we're at that age. We've gone that far into the future. Cars aren't flying yet, but taunting is a thing, and it's used way too often. Now, I'll wrap it up and say I kind of sort of agree with Sean Payton in New Orleans. I think it's being a little too overblown. I think these players, they are the age that they are. This is the era that we're in, okay? And they are the predominant source of the players that we have. And you can't just take away everything they love to do. You can police it a little bit, but let's not get too crazy with it. You know what I mean? Let these kids do what they do. You know, don't chase after some guys taunting, but not chase after other guys for taunting, kind of the equal thing. You know what I mean? That's the problem with the NFL. Have a consistent way of policing your product and maintain it consistently. Okay,
and that's the word.
Be consistent and do it consistently. Otherwise, you just make yourself look like fools.
I completely agree with you. And listen, I got a jam-packed show, and we could definitely stay on this. But Phil Jones says he wants to challenge you to a dance battle. So, John,
you know what? I'm on it, especially with Phil. You know, he got. I'm pulling my ticket right now for the battle.
Well, listen,
dance off, bro.
I got Phil
dance
in there.
off, bro. Me and you.
I got Phil in there, so.
Hey, when you want to do it?
Hey, you know what? We can pre-record. We can go live. It doesn't matter. Hey, Mr. Eric, I just want to let you know I love this man right here. We have met. My only regret is that so far we have not been able to like sit down, eat a meal, and have a drink and talk about some topics at a table and really kind of do some things together and further our relationship. But he knows he's just a couple hours away from me. The door's always open for him anytime, and he's got that spare bedroom that got an extra big bed for his ass.
John Turner,
anytime he wants it.
as he says, it's a football
All right.
All right, guys, thanks for having me, man. Have a good show.
Thank you, sir. So, Phil, while I got you, my brother, welcome into Alex Fleming's Carousel. It's good to see you. You look well, my brother. Stay blessed as always. Yes, but I got to talk to you about your Las Vegas Raiders, man. Okay, so you're at a pivotal point right now, man. You 5-4. All right? You in that middle of the pack to where we don't know what's happening in the AFC. 1 week, you're on top. Next week, you're at the bottom. Then you come back and you're in the middle. You have great games. You have games that you just get blown out. That's what 2021 NFL is looking like. But specifically for your team this week, talk to me about your Raiders as you are hosting Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and the rest of the Bengals.
Hold up. I'm looking at a tweet. Hold up. I need to make sure this ain't fake. Hold up.
Okay. All right. Phil Jones, always on. He's always this man. We might as well call you the Black Adam Schefter. Come on now, what's going on?
Man, I gotta make sure it didn't come from Schefter.
Okay,
because now you can manipulate tweets to make it look like it came from Schefter.
Right.
Make it as a meme. So I just want to double check.
Okay.
If it did come from him, I'm like, oh. If not, then because it does sound shocking. Does sound promising.
All right,
well, but you know what?
Don't tease us like that now. Phil, come on now.
I ain't think it was true at all. But in a way, it is kind of true. So they will be soon doing that, or I think they already started that at practice, but they're not going to say anything. So we're at a point now where with Derek Carr and the Raiders, your offense is taking a major dive to where you used to be scoring about 30 points a game to now 14 points a game. And this is terrible. This is a terrible output. Everybody's ready to jump and blame and say, well, it's Greg Olsen. And you look at the poor performance from the defense. Then again, this is complimentary football. Offense has to do their part. Defense can do their part as well. And this is the first time we've seen our defense look this bad all year. I went through all 22, reviewed the tape. Your weakest link on the defense was, surprisingly, Jonathan Abrams when it came to coverage. Patrick Mahomes exposed them. If he's in that vicinity, they said, I'm not going to throw close to that corner. I'm going to throw closer to Abrams. And lo and behold, that's what happened. What the Raiders are going to have to do is this. One, you cannot have this man in coverage. That's not what he's good at. Okay. He's never been good at that. They're going to have to put somebody out there that is good and legit. They did activate Clinton Dix. They should have went on and said, you know what? Let's go on and leave him. Let's go on and put him out there. they're going to have to make sure they tighten up this defense where they're not trending down and just falling completely apart. The offense, my God, Derek Carr the last 2 weeks has been off. Well, but then again, we're looking at something that we saw in the second half of the season last year. We're 6-3, or we were 5-3 or 5-4. Now you're 5-4 again. It's literally looking like the same thing we saw.
So is history going to repeat itself? That's my question.
Only way it repeats itself, unless you bench them.
Wow.
I'm at it's at that point.
Okay.
It's time to bench them. It's time to move on from them. You have signed Marcus Mariota to a high-paying contract for a backup quarterback.
Right.
We've seen what he's done when he came out to play. You know what he can do. You know when he comes out there, defenses are on their heels. They're like, we don't know what to do. He's making big plays, and I'm noticing a different tempo from out of the offense. It's a high tempo. It's fast-paced. Guys look motivated. The O-line looks motivated. Even my running back, who's been running his mouth about people talking trash about, oh, you guys saying this, and this. Well, I mean, to be honest, you're putting up, 80 carries for 296, where we're about we're in the second half of the season, and you're not even close to 1,000 yards. So the problem with the Raiders right now is you're going with things that are not working. You need to make the replacements, make the switch, and guys need to get off of social media, start running their mouth.
Well, I don't know. As John Turner said, we live in that day and age where everybody is looking for that clickbait, and you don't have to be right. You just have to be first. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that unfolds. Bill Jones, my brother, always appreciate your time. Congratulations on your success with New Stitch Media. I saw you at the White House doing your thing. I had to admit, I'm like, oh, wait, Phil at the White House? I said, okay. Phil Jones coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Pay attention. Start getting them autographs now because, they're going to be hard to find in a couple of years. That's what I'm saying.
Google me, Chuck. Google me.
Hey, Phil, stay blessed, my brother. I'm going to holler at you.
All right, man. You take care.
Take care.
All right.
Let me get my brother, Mr. Eddie BW, in here talking about his Chicago Bears because, Eddie, first off, welcome back, my brother.
How's
Can
it
I
going?
just say this? I have been a supporter of Justin Fields from draft night. I have not fallen off the bandwagon. He's had his bumps and bruises. He's a rookie in the NFL. I totally recognize that it is not all him. A little bit has to do with the system that he's in. A little bit has to do with the coaches, the offensive line. But he showed me something in that game against Pittsburgh. He showed me that he could be that guy given the right situation. So I want to know from you how you feel about his progression this season, number one. And number two, the Baltimore Ravens have had 10 days to continually revisit the ass whooping that happened against the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
So you know Lamar is coming with everything and then some. Talk to me about Justin first, and then talk to me about your matchup this Sunday in Soldier Field against the Baltimore Ravens.
Well, look, the Bears coming out of the bye week have not been good under Matt Nagy, and I don't know how much of that you can put on Nagy completely. I think you can definitely put a lot of it on him. We've kind of seen that with how this season has gone, that for Mitch, a lot of his issues were Nagy. And I think everybody that really understood what was going on saw that at the same time too. Problem with Trubisky is he just can't make a lot of the throws to begin with. So once he was put in a box, he looked that much worse. With Justin Fields, he's been turning a corner because he's been able to get out of the pocket. When he's on a play action bootleg, he's one of the best passers in the league. He really started to turn a corner against Pittsburgh. Unfortunately, NFL's even said it. They blew multiple calls in that game that ultimately cost the Bears. I think he's getting to a point where I don't want to say he's outgrowing Nagy, but I know that
Now hold on. That's a very interesting statement that you said there. I'm gonna need you to peel back them layers on that one for me now.
So Nagy is trying. Like, I think Nagy has an idea of what he wants out of a quarterback. The problem is he is trying to fit that into a box, and I think it goes back to when Mitch Trubisky got hurt. I think it had to be his second season. He runs out the pocket. There's grass, nobody open that he thinks he can get the ball to, and he goes out, hurts his shoulder. After that, Mitch Trubisky really got put into a box. Now, the thing is, you put Justin Fields into that same box, I think he's going to do better, and I think he'll become a better quarterback for it. I think that's why they had him behind Dalton. Learn a little bit more of the pocket presence, learn a little bit more about how to get the ball out quicker. Problem is, the Bears still don't have an offensive line capable of doing that, and some of the routes that they run just don't make sense with the drop steps or the bootlegs. Right? There's just a disconnect. It doesn't seem like everything ever makes sense, and that's been an issue for the Bears for a few years. I think Nagy could develop him, but I don't want to take that risk. I would much rather see Matt Nagy gone, if not after this season, during this season. Absolutely during this season, actually.
All right, so talk to me about your matchup on Sunday as Lamar, El Freaky, Devontae Freeman, Hollywood Brown, and the rest of the crew come in and face your Chicago Bears.
So I've been seeing reports that Lamar Jackson's been out of practice with some kind of sickness all week. Now, it's not COVID. That's the only thing that's been confirmed. And if he comes back and is able to utilize what I think is one of his best weapons, his legs, especially against the Bears. I mean, look at what Jimmy Garoppolo and Aaron Rodgers was able to do, rolling out the pocket and scrambling against the Bears, right? Two guys score 3 touchdowns between the two of them and definitely elevated both their teams past the Bears at Soldier Field. If he's able to do that, it really doesn't matter what else is going on that Ravens offense, because the Bears have had such a hard time containing a quarterback once he gets out of the pocket. That's really the big key to the game there. Another thing that's not really working in the Bears' favor, I already mentioned that they're not great coming out of the bye week under Nagy, but add in that guys like Khalil Mack, Akeem Hicks, they're still out at practice. Eddie Jackson has been limited at practice. There's a lot of injuries going around on this offense. I think Danny Trevathan was even a DNP today.
Wow. Okay.
It's not looking good as far as injuries go. On the flip side, though, the Steelers, we got the Steelers at their absolute best. They had Roethlisberger, James Conner, or not James Conner.
No, Najee Harris.
Najee Harris, yeah. We got them at their absolute best, and the Bears were the better team. So I don't know. Even with all the backups, they were able to keep it close. Offense definitely outperformed the Ravens offense. And I think as long as that kind of keeps going, they'll be in good shape this week. But really, Lamar Jackson is all going to depend on how he's able to overcome whatever he's dealing with right now and perform on Sunday.
All right. My man, Eddie BW, Big Ben. Make sure you follow him at BDT Football. I appreciate your time, my brother. I will definitely talk to you soon. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Eric. Have a good one.
You too.
Carousel, carousel, carousel. This the carousel. On or you off? Either you're on or you're off. Either you're on or you're off. Knock 'em out. Carousel, carousel, carousel. This the carousel. On or you're off? Either you're on or you're off. Either you're on or you're off. Knock 'em out.
Welcome back to Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel. So, typically ladies' night is Wednesday night, but I got a ladies' debate going on right now between two people who I actually do love and respect. But as you know, every Sunday I cheer for two teams, the Philadelphia Eagles and whoever is playing them damn Cowboys. So this week, it is my good friend, the one and only Miss Carrie Johnson's in the building. What's up, Carrie? How are you?
Good evening. How are you?
I'm well. So, Carrie, I'm going to need you, Patrick, Andy, Travis, Daryl Williams, Tyreek, and the rest of the boys, especially the Honey Badger, to beat up on one Mr. Dak Prescott. But let me get Megan Price in here.
Such a hater.
I am. All day twice on Sunday. You know when I like the Cowboys? When they on a bye. That's because I don't got to watch them. I'm telling you. But ladies, you know how we get down. You each get 2 minutes to talk to each other about this game. There'll be a brief cooling off period, and then you'll have a 1-minute rebuttal. Since Dallas is going to Arrowhead Stadium, Megan Price, you will go first. And your 2 minutes, Megan, starts now.
I think what you have to focus on here is our offenses. Our offenses are so closely matched. Dak went for 297 yards last week, 2 touchdowns, and he had a QB rating of 127.9. Now, Mahomes had 406 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 127.6 rating. So they're almost very closely matched quarterbacks. I do think some of the weapons that the Chiefs have are a little bit better than the Cowboys. Now, I think our receiving core is very closely matched, but that tight end that they have in Kelsey is just something really special. And we have a hard time against tight ends. So our passing D versus Ryan last week was he only had 127 yards, 2 interceptions, and he only had a QB rating of 21.4. And then he had an 82.4 rating in the fourth for our pass defense, and then our completion percentage was in 7th. Now, our pass rush is where our problems are right there. The rush defense only has 18 sacks, which is 25th in the league, and then the pressure percentage is 19th in the league. We don't have Gregory this week, but we have Parsons, who has 6 sacks, 10 TFL, and 5 QB hits. I think what we are most excited to see about this matchup is Hill versus Diggs. Diggs leads the league in interceptions with 8 interceptions. He has a 54.9 rating and a 53.7 completion percentage. So that is really, really great rating right there. But Hill backs it up as well. He has 8 touchdowns, 75 receptions, and 85.5 yards per game.
You know I was getting ready to cut you off. She knew I was getting ready to cut her off because your 2
I already
minutes
know.
was up. Miss Carrie Johnson, as Travis Kelce said, and I gotta continue it. The brothers got his swagger back. So what's going to happen this Sunday as the Dallas Cowboys come into Arrowhead?
I agree with Megan that offensively and defensively, we're just a couple numbers off. I read that somewhere that like you were 2 or 3 different steps higher than we were. I think that kind of goes because, well, we all know that the Chiefs weren't playing. I don't know. They could have beat our high school team at one point. But I also know that Mahomes has picked up and he's being more intentful with his passing and his game running as it is. And we also saw over the last 2 weeks that our defense has really started to fall into place. They're letting Jones move back and forth a little bit, and that's helping him learn a new position and also be in that inside to pass to get to the quarterback. And he was having several good showings this last week. I think that I definitely think that Matthew is going to have to step up and live up to his nickname in the stadium as landlord. He needs to help get that backfield in shape and ready to take advantage. I think it's going to come down to who's managing the game better and who has the ball the last. I really think that whether or not it's a high score, it's going to be a close score, and it's going to come out who owns the ball the most during the entire game.
All right. So I got to ask both you ladies a question before you go back at each other. Megan, Dallas put up 43. Kansas City put up 41. Are either one of you anticipating that this game is going to be that high of a score again? Now, this is the game of the week, so all eyes are on this game. But, I'm just wondering, is this going to become a shootout between these two teams? I want to give each of you ladies 30 seconds. So, Megan, I want to go to you, then I'm going to go to Carrie, and then I'll give both of you your final word.
I do think that there is a very good chance that it could be a high-scoring game like that. I don't know if it's going to be quite up into the 40s like that, but I expect 30 points apiece from each team plus. I think the interesting fact that you got to look at with the Cowboys, though, we are the 3rd best in forcing teams to punt. So I think that's what it's going to come down to. It's going to be our defense. Are we going to be able to just slow your offense down just a little bit? We have issues with the tight end. If we can focus on that, that'll bring us there. But absolutely, it's going to be a high-scoring game.
All right, Ms. Johnson, what about you?
This game makes me think of the one the game with the Rams that was the 51-48 or something like that, and 51-53. Thank you. I think it's going to be a more offensive game, and both sides' defenses are going to be worn down. But like I said, it's going to be we're matched up on quarterbacks as well as cut off. But I do think it's just going to be who has the game handling tools and handles it the best.
All right, ladies, you each get 45 seconds to a minute to give me your final words on this matchup. Give me a score. Let me know who's going to win. And convincingly, I know you're going to both go for your team, but tell me why it's going to happen. Megan, you first, and then, of course, Miss Johnson. 1 minute.
I really feel like you got to look at both of our opponents last week and just kind of gauge what we're going to do off of that. We had ATL, very similar team to Vegas as far as their records. Like ATL going into it was 4-4, and I think Vegas was 5-4. So very similar teams. And then we had very similar outcomes in our scores as well. So both of us kind of bounced back off of some losses and coming back in with, that revitalized energy. I do think we're going to see Dak do a lot. I do think we're going to see Zeke do a whole lot. But I think player of the game is actually going to be Tony Pollard. I think that explosive type of running back is going to be something that the Chiefs can't quite handle. Zeke is going to be our workhorse, of course, but that explosive type of running back that is Tony Pollard, I think that's going to be a difference maker. I do think we win, but I think it's going to be 35-31, and that difference maker is going to be that we make them punt.
Interesting. All right, Miss Johnson, final word goes to you. And ladies, as always, thank you so much for being a part of this. But Miss Johnson, final word.
I think that if we can get Tyron and some of the other Jones. Oh yeah, Chris Jones. I'm getting talked from the side here. And Jones, those two are going to help keep the pace for the defense, but at the end of the day, it's going to be quarterback against quarterback. It's going to be a tight score. The crowd noise will potentially work for us, and that'll be something that is not common for the Cowboys to deal with, is that loud noise in an open air stadium. So that's going to be a plus for us. And the score, I'm going to go with maybe even 35-32, something in that range would be something doable.
Yeah, I think we're both picking very similar scores, and I think it could go either way. But I didn't think about that crowd noise. That is going to be something.
Yeah, y'all gonna lose. It's okay. We ain't worried about
Calm down, Eric. Calm down.
Megan Price, host of 806 and the Sip Off, our Queen of Hoops, and of course, she loves her Kansas City Chiefs, and so do I. This week, the one and only Miss Carrie Johnson. Ladies, thank you so much. I really appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to take a real quick break, but I have to properly introduce my next guest. But I think the only way to officially do that is to very simply do this. Yeah, it's like that. Let me welcome in my next guest, who is a fellow Eagle brother of mine. And you know what? Even though we're 4-6, it doesn't matter because when you got family around, you got to have a conversation. This is my man, Mr. Rob Hills, in the building. What's up, brother? How are you? Love
What's
it.
up, man? What's up?
What's going on?
Want to get to talk about them Eagles, baby. Woo!
All right, so we sitting at 4-6, and we're playing an opponent who last year was Jalen Hurts' first win in the NFL. So the Saints are coming back to the scene of the crime. Now, listen, Drew Brees ain't on the other side. Jameis Winston on the other side. We got Trevor Siemian or possibly Taysom Hill. So talk to me about this matchup because we're coming off a major victory. We went to Mile High, and without Von Miller, we made sure Teddy Two Gloves didn't get the job done.
Right. So here's what I'm going to say about that. The defense looked really good last week. Were we playing an elite level offense? No. I'll give anybody that. But we're not playing an elite level offense this week either. They looked horrible last week. And I'm going to say probably they'll do the same thing this week. And our defense looked better last week. And you got to give the boys credit. They're stepping up.
So give me your assessment of Jalen thus far. We're 11 weeks in. I mean, he's played almost a full season, if you will. I believe this game, be it it's week 11, I think this is his 15th or maybe even 16th start. So we're finally getting a full season of this young man at the helm.
Right. He's gaining knowledge every week. He's doing better each week. He's just stepping up and being a better person and a better quarterback. Better situationally understanding what he needs to do in the game. And, I mean, he does have a pretty elite wideout core. I mean, they're just all very young still, too. So right. I think they're all learning together and starting to get the wheels greased, so it becomes a well-oiled machine. And, we'll see, man.
Rob,
Dallas Goedert getting hurt was a big thing last week. I didn't like that.
No, I know. But, Rob, man, we have not won at home this season.
Yeah.
We're a better road team than we are a home team. And listen, during the playoffs, that's what you want. But not right now. Right now, we need to win one at the link. So my question, point blank, we winning this one Sunday at home?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I need to know. That's
for sure. It needs to happen soon because, I mean, we don't have our bye until, way back there.
Oh, yeah. Week 14. We still got about 3 more weeks. Well, actually, I think it's.
So we want to have a better record, as far as wins and losses go. So we need to win the rest of these before we go into our bye. And I'm not even saying that's possible. I'm saying it's probable.
Oh, fair enough.
Got to have faith and bleed green, baby,
All day. Listen, my brother, all day, every day. That's what it's all about right there.
All right, I see you.
All day, every day. Rob, man, I appreciate your time. Listen,
welcome
to the family. Welcome to the Carousel. Anytime you want to jump on and talk Philly Eagles, I got you, fam. All right?
All right, man. All
Happy
right.
Thanksgiving. I'm going to talk to you soon.
Thanksgiving, man. Happy.
See it. See, that's what I need. I need some Philly love in my life to keep this thing going because, I got all these fans. I got Arizona fans. I got Seattle fans. I got, shout out to my man Dom, the Detroit Lions loyal fan. That brother needs a trophy just because. If anybody deserves some love, it is our man Dom DeRubius because his team can't even win. They have 2 ties. I mean, they got a tie, and they still ain't won 1 game. But I don't know. We're going to get to them in a minute. But let me go ahead and get my next 2 people in here because the Washington football team, a team that was supposed to be on the come up this year, that was supposed to battle for the NFC East divisional crown. Yeah, they 3-6. Meanwhile, Carolina Panthers, they got somebody back, and he made it very clear that he was back playing against a Kyler Murray less Arizona Cardinals, a J.J. Watt less Arizona Cardinals. But I take nothing away from Carolina because they at 5-5, and they trying to keep up with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That being said, let me get my man, the couch coach in here, and of course, my dear friend, Miss Jennifer Lewis in the building. So thank you both for joining me here tonight.
Hey, guys.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone.
What's going on? How are you?
Good.
Good.
I love that shade. Eric. It ain't over yet now. In the
Listen,
NFC East. Come on
listen,
now.
you in my division. I'm gonna talk all day long and twice on Sunday. Y'all know how this goes. You each get 2 minutes to talk about your team and why you will be successful. Since the Washington football team is coming to the Bank of America Stadium, Jen Matthew Lewis's backyard. Couch Coach, we're gonna let you go first, sir. Your 2 minutes
Okay.
starts right now.
Once again, we scheduled this on the circled this on the calendar, November 21st of 2021 as the homecoming, aka Ron's Revenge. It's will come down to that situation, but we also got a double homecoming with Cam coming back to BOA to the Bank of America Stadium. So it's gonna definitely be an interesting game. But then also the one that we really overshadowed, the comeback of Taylor Heineke. Yes, the legend of Taylor Heineke once again comes back to Carolina. What he did last week was definitely amazing. He he did his thing, 256 yards. It was very efficient offensively, made the throws when they were needed, didn't do anything that was crazy outside of himself. That running game went very well. And the defense finally showed up. It felt like it was 2020 all over again as far as when it came to the defense. We was able to get timely interceptions, even though we didn't get the pressure to Bray like we did last week, but the pressures could be potentially there this week. Obviously, no Montez Sweat and no Chase Young, but we also got some guys. Also, Jonathan Allen is there leading us with 6 sacks this season. Also, you got guys like Casey Toohill coming as far as being a backup, and also James Smith-Williams. They're doing their thing. They were pretty solid in the win last week against Tampa Bay. I was really impressed. The time of possession, 39 minutes on. So to me, if we get into those, if we had that same type of situation this week, we might get a win in Carolina, and our playoff lives continue potentially.
Your playoff lives are not continuing. I'm just gonna let you know that you sitting at 6 losses. We gonna get a playoff berth before you do, and I don't expect us to get a playoff berth. But I'm sorry,
all you need
Miss
is
Lewis. Miss Lewis, I'm gonna let you do your thing. Go ahead, please.
All right, let me explain something, Coach.
Yeah,
we gonna win this weekend
okay,
because the fans have finally gotten what they wanted back. Now we will definitely win if 2 certain coaches sit down and hush up and just let a couple of quarterbacks make the offensive play calling. Coach Snow can say whatever he wants. He's got my respect. That being said, even Ron, when Cam was still with the Patriots in this offseason, tried to protect Cam from his own player, Chase Young. So, and he even said that. He was like, it took everything I had not to tell Cam to watch out for that sack that was coming. On the defense side, as I said, we've got the number 2 defense in the league. I think the Bills have a better one than us, but that's it. So far in 2021, we've allowed 280.7 total yards per game, which is the second most. 173.7 passing, 107 rushing, 19.3 allowed PPGs, 27 sacks we've tackled, and we've got 33.06 conversions on third downs and allowed only 27 minutes of time of possession. So, obviously, our offense has kind of been fixed, at least for the short term. But this weekend is going to be lit. Like, I've already got my parents' parking spot saved for the game on Sunday. You guys, I'm not that concerned because you have Tyler Heineke. He knows what he's coming up against with our defense. He's probably a little scared. However, your O-line, your entire WFT team has been actually really supporting Tyler. I keep mispronouncing his name. And that's good.
All right. So the one thing I was hoping to hear from either one of you, which I didn't, was just, it seems like this reunion is forming. You called it a revenge game. Jen is like, listen, they know what they're walking into. You can't come back in the Bank of America and think you're just going to do what you want to do. But I got a question for both of you. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna let the both of you have your minute. Talk to me about your X factor. Talk to me why you gonna win this game. You both get a minute. Coach, you go first, and then Miss Lewis, you gonna get the final word.
The biggest X factor is the former Carolina Panthers quarterback, that is Taylor Heineke. As Jen alluded earlier, like as far as the pass defense, yes, we're not scared. Tampa Bay sacked my boy 5 times, hit him 8 times. You know what? Hey, that boy, he gets up, he takes a licking. All I gotta say for that one is if you get him that first hit, because if you get him that second hit, he'll be all the way down 85 on the Panthers. But yeah.
All right, Miss Lewis, final word is yours.
Okay, so our popular X factor is obviously Cam. Like, the man just brings something to the QC. And I hate to quote Stephen A. Smith because Lord knows he hates everything. However, he did say it well. Cam Newton is not the quarterback for 31 teams, but he is the quarterback and the only quarterback right now for the Carolina Panthers. And that's true. Our unspoken X factor is my main man, Taylor Moton. Love him. Taylor has protected every single quarterback we've had, including yours, Coach.
Yeah.
And Taylor, I don't know. I feel like I can't sing Taylor's praises enough. You guys also have to be on the lookout for Etor Gross Mateos because on the defense, because he and Tyler have never met. However, a lot of quarterbacks are not liking him very much on the opposing teams. But I think that the Panthers will win. We're going to bring that up. And it was just announced Cam's giving 50 tickets away to people who have never been to a game or rarely been to a game. This stadium is filled. And thank God we're taking our stadium back because it was a pain to have those Jets fans there. Let me tell you.
Coach Couch, my friend Jen Lewis, thank you both so much. Everyone have a blessed Thanksgiving. I'm going to talk to you all really soon, all right?
All right, take care.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
All right,
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye. All right. So let me get my man really quick in here. He's out there in Arizona, and, this is my man, Mike Caratanudo. Oh, I think we lost him. All right, we're going to get Mike back in a minute, but while I'm waiting for him to get back, let me go ahead and grab, like I said earlier, this brother deserves a trophy for being one of the most loyal people in the world. My man, Detroit Dom, my brother, I just want to hug you. I'm just going to say that.
Hey, I don't need a hug. We're undefeated in November. I would accept your hug.
I'm just saying, brother, you have got to be, I don't even know. It pains me because I believe in your team at times, except when you play us. But I'm just like, damn, can the Lions just get one? Just get one. But this week, though,
close games, look what happens when you have a garbage kicker.
But this week, though, I think got a chance.
We cut him though.
Thank God for small favors. Let me go ahead and get my man, Cleveland Browns own Mr. Matthew Wilder's in the building. Matthew, good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, gentlemen, you know how it goes down. Both of you get 2 minutes to talk about your team. I mean, listen, at one point in time, both of these teams were the bottom of the barrel. We saw some sort of promise in these teams, and now I don't know which way is up and which way is down. I'm just going to say that. So, Dom, since you are heading to First Energy Stadium, you get to go first, and your 2 minutes, sir, start.
Okay. First of all, Dan Campbell made a huge mistake last week not pulling Goff when he was hurt, because as bad as our backups, Tim Boyle and David Blau are, a healthy backup or even a healthy third stringer gives you a better chance to win a game than an injured Jared Goff. It looks like Goff will be out this week. Boyle's been taking all the first team reps. And yet again, we're going to lean on our run game, whether it's Campbell calling the plays or Anthony Lynn, doesn't matter. Our receivers are just really bad. It looks like our waiver pickup, Josh Reynolds, is probably going to play this week, so that's maybe a glimmer of hope. It's like a flashlight with, one good battery, one bad one. You bang on it, it maybe flickers for a minute. But we're leaning on the run game. I know that Baker Mayfield is banged up, so we need to get after him as much as possible. And like I said, run heavy, because one thing I do know, anytime Baker's team has been outrushed by more than 50 yards, he is winless. 0-14. So run the ball, stop the run. I know Chubb's coming back this week. Our run defense is not good. Cleveland's, I believe, is middle of the pack, somewhere between like 15 and 18. So we'll see what happens. I expect a close game, hard-fought game. We play hard every week. Whether or not we'll win, not sure. We replaced our kicker, so if it comes down to a field goal, at least this time we have a chance.
All right, Mr. Wilder, you got 2 minutes, sir. Your time starts now.
Okay. Well, I like the fact that the Cleveland Browns defense is going against the backup quarterback for the Detroit Lions. Now, yeah, that was a risk to keep Jared Goff in that game. I get it. So that's something that's going to hurt Detroit from the word go, really. So that means Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett are going to be coming for him. That means there's going to be a lot of sacks early. So I think, in a manner of speaking, Detroit's offense is going to have a few rough starts. I don't think they're going to do much in the first half. I think the Browns defense is going to clamp down on them. There's going to be a lot of pressure up front. Detroit's not going to be able to handle it well. And there's going to be that backup quarterback, Tim Boyle, running for his life, unfortunately. So it's going to be bad for Detroit. I think there's going to be some points in the second half. I don't think it's going to be a blowout because the Browns' injury list it's a laundry list or a grocery list, call it what you want, but it's long and it's tough to look at and it's there and it's ugly. So, yeah, I don't think there's going to be a blowout win. I know they're 11.5-point favorites. I'm not buying it. I think there's going to be a lot of running, whether it's Nick Chubb or Dearness Johnson. Johnson got 5.2 yards per carry against a really good Patriots defense. I think that's how the Browns are going to start this one off.
All right. Interesting. Like I said, I'm as much as this game is, at one point we would just call this the toilet bowl game. It's not that anymore. So Dom, Matt, talk to me about why your team is going to be successful. Dom, for you, you're going into hostile territory, but you have an opportunity to kind of walk out of First Energy with your first win. No pun intended. But talk to me about that. And then Matt, this defense and all the weapons on paper are supposed to be better than what their record speaks to. So what needs to happen? Dom, you first, and then Matt, you get the final word. 1 minute, gentlemen.
Oh, well, Baker's banged up, so we need to take advantage of that. I'm not saying, target an area of injury or take any cheap shots, but when you hit him hard. I've never been scared of Baker Mayfield in the pass game. Our run defense is suspect, and albeit I'm a Lions fan, I am a huge Nick Chubb fan, so I expect him to go off. But we have to just stick to the run, try to keep the score close, limit or completely eliminate turnovers, and maybe a pop in special teams would help. Maybe some more of those trick plays or a big run back on a kick or a punt return. And if it comes down to it, at least I have, like I said, a small amount of faith in our new field goal kicker. So we'll see.
All right. Mr. Wilder, final word is yours, sir. 1 minute.
I think there's going to be an emphasis on pass defense, especially going against tight end TJ Hawkinson. That's the one matchup I'm actually afraid of. So we gotta make sure he doesn't get too many yards. So, I mean, hopefully Denzel Ward's going to be nice and healthy. I hope he's playing. So our corners are fast. I mean, we got Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome. I think it's going to come down to the secondary play. I'm not worried about the defensive front. I'm not worried too much about the linebackers. I want to see what the secondary is going to do. And who knows, maybe Denzel Ward's going to start off with another pick six like he did against Cincinnati. That would be a great start. We'll see if that happens. But I think that's where the defense is going to have to come into play. It's going to have to be pass defense. Limit this backup Tim Boyle. Don't let him do anything, because if he gets started and he gets all confident, he's going to take the crowd out right away. So they have to feed off the energy of the home crowd. That's how they win.
All right, gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Thank you both very much. Have a blessed and happy Thanksgiving, and I will definitely talk to y'all really soon.
Thanks, E-Dub.
All right, I know I got him there. There he is. Let me get him on here for a few minutes. Mike, you good, man? You there?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, man, I know you're pressed for time. do me a favor. Take 2 minutes. Talk about Arizona in this matchup against Seattle.
Yeah, man, it's been an interesting week in practice. It's been a fun day waiting to get my tire changed. Was reading the report. Buda Baker didn't practice today. I saw that on Cards Wire, so that's pretty interesting, Eric, because this Cardinals team has a top 5 defense, and everybody, we talk about the offense. We know DeAndre Hopkins, who literally hasn't really been healthy since week 1. He tried to power through it, I think, in weeks 2, 3, and 4. And he's pretty much been out since then. But I think he gets the long game, and just seeing what this offense can do. The good news is Kyler Murray looks like he is going to play. I mean, they're listing it as a game-time decision. So that's the injury front. But focusing on the defense, man, they came out flat, Eric. They got punched in the mouth by Carolina. The offense turned the ball over and gave them terrible field position. A short field to work with for Carolina. And Cam Newton, as we saw, took advantage twice. So, I mean, look, this defense, Devon Kennard talked about it. Even J.J. Watt, who, as we know, is not playing, talked about it, Eric. But it's one of those things where this defense will show out. I mean, the inside linebacker spot has been a little questionable. Zaven Collins has kind of been banged up, but in and out of the lineup, the rookie. But our boy, Eric, Isaiah Simmons, I know Cam Newton kind of gave him the shoulder to run him over in the end zone last week, but I could not believe last year when Isaiah Simmons got drafted by the Cardinals, and man, Vance Joseph has him on the outside, and this kid looks amazing. So it'll be a tough battle for their defense. Or it'll be tough if Buda Baker doesn't go. Again, I'm not saying he won't. He just didn't practice today. But look, man, Seattle, the 17-0 loss, I mean, they held Green Bay to 3 points until the fourth quarter. So my thing to you is I look at it like this. If the Cardinals run the ball with Connor and Kyler Murray comes back, it's a Cardinals team that should, again, if they were looking ahead and looking past Carolina with that defense, it was a mistake. And I don't subscribe to that one, Eric.
Exactly.
But I will say this. I think that they come out just wanting to punch Seattle in the mouth, who has struggled. We all love Russell Wilson, know what he can do. But at the same time, this Cardinals defense can match up. And if Kyler Murray plays again, he won't be running a ton, but it'll be a huge boost to the offense. And look for James Conner to have another big game.
Fair enough. Mike, I appreciate it, man. Please be safe. I'm going to holler at you. Happy Thanksgiving, brother.
Yeah. All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me get back to the debates here because I've got a good one for you. So, as you know, there are 2 teams in the NFC North that continually, when they play against each other, something always seems to happen. There always seems to be some type of intrigue with this game. It is a 1:00 game, so along with the rest, I still feel like people are going to look at this one and say it just might be one of the best matchups. It is, of course, an NFC North rivalry, which features the Green Bay Packers and my Chicago Sky brother, Mr. Tyler Ingram, Green Bay Packers fan, heading to US Bank Stadium to face Colin Ireland and the Minnesota Vikings. So, gentlemen, what's going on? How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm well. I think we got Colin in there. Colin, you good? You're still frozen a little bit, brother. All right. We're going to see if we can get Colin back here in just a second. While I get him back, let me see. I think that might have done it. Yeah, we got a little. There we go. There we go.
Good. Okay.
I think I got you there.
You hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. Mic check 1, 2. Let me see. Colin, you know what? Typically we go with the away team first, but I think we might be having some technical. So if we got you, go ahead and talk to me about this matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers, sir. No, we got a little bit of technical difficulty here. Yeah, it's still cutting in and out. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a real quick break. Tyler, hold on 1 second. let me take a quick 20-second break, see if we can get him back in here. More with Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel. We will be right back.
Carousel, carousel, carousel. This the carousel. On or you off, either you're on or you're off, either you're on or you're off. Knock 'em out. Carousel, carousel, carousel. This the carousel. On or you're off, either you're on or you're off, either you're on or you're off. Knock 'em out.
All right, let me see. We're going to try this again. We got my man Tyler. We got my man Colin in here. I think we got everybody good to go here. I think that's what's working. Colin, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Eric?
Doing good, doing good. All right, while we got you,
How you doing?
talk to me about this Minnesota team playing against Green Bay on Sunday.
Well, I keep thinking that Minnesota is going to go one way or the other. I think a lot of fans of the team are kind of fed up with how the play calling has been, and it was nice to see them really take the reins off last week and actually throw the ball to Justin Jefferson and feel him a little bit more. Seemed like, that have one.
Okay. Colin, your feed is not holding true to us, my brother. I want to get you on, but we got to keep it moving. I do apologize. I'm gonna definitely try and see if we can get you on here towards the end of the show. Maybe if you get a better signal, but right now it's cutting in and out. So I'm gonna go to Tyler, but I'm definitely gonna try and come back to you. So Tyler, listen, this is your team. You know what's going on. You understand that right now you do sit atop the NFC North, and Aaron Rodgers is playing with even a huger chip on his shoulders. But talk to me about the Green Bay Packers and Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I want people to start recognizing, giving us some respect on this defense with this Green Bay Packers. This defense is playing out of this world right now. They're only allowing 107 yards on the ground, only allowing 202 through the air, third lowest in the league. Russell Wilson, 161 yards. Mahomes, 166 yards, back-to-back weeks. The defense hasn't let a single point be scored in the last 6 quarters right now. Only 180 points allowed through 10 games, so they're only allowing 18 points per game. I really like the way the Packers are playing right now. They have 11 interceptions now on the season, and opposing quarterbacks percentage is only 50% or 56% last in the NFL currently. So as good as Kirk Cousins has been this season, and he hasn't turned over the ball, the last time we played them, it was Dalvin Cook show running the ball. This is a different Packers defense. And Mike Patton, all season I've been saying this, Joe Barry was the right hire for Green Bay. Mike Patton was a liability last season for us. Joe Barry has got this team wound up. And by the way, Eric, Jair Alexander hasn't played since week 4.
Wow. Okay. All right. We were unsuccessful in getting Colin in here, but really quick, give me your difference maker. Give me your final score.
I think a difference maker is going to be Aaron Rodgers in this game because the Packers have been a little stale on offense the past couple of weeks. Granted, he missed the week against Kansas City, but I think Devontae Adams is going to have a monster game. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to throw for 270. The defense is going to do its job. Kirk Cousins is not going to have the success that he has been having the past few weeks. And another X factor, A.J. Dillon. I know Aaron Jones is out this game, but there is absolutely no fear in me with A.J. Dillon. He has been a truck. He's going to have a monster game this week, and the Packers are going to win this game 28-17.
Wow. All right, double digit. Tyler Ingram, my Chicago Sky brother. Hey, I'm excited to see what happens in the near future for both of us. Best of luck to you on Sunday. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to holler at you.
Yeah, and I was going to show you, too. I got the Packer G up there, too.
Okay.
So I know I saw your eagle tattoo. So
Oh, yes. Yeah. No, we loyal to the end. Don't matter. Win, lose. Hey, the one thing you and I have in common, win, lose, or tie, we bleed green till we die.
That's right. Go, Pack, go.
Hey, fly, Eagles, fly. I'll talk to you soon, my brother. All right, so my last matchup of the night, my last debate of the night, ladies and gentlemen, it's kind of an old school versus new school kind of thing. I have the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are coming off a tie, if you can believe that, heading to SoFi Stadium to face the 5-4 Justin Herbert-led Los Angeles Chargers. So let me welcome in my man, Mr. JB Ellis, first and foremost, the hometown man. What's going on, JB? How are you?
How's it going tonight, Eric?
Oh, I'm doing very well, thank you. And then I have to bring him in, and you know this young man. He is no stranger to the carousel, and he knows definitely what he is talking about. The international phenom that is Daniel Baquetigo. Daniel, what's going on, my man? Oh, Daniel wants to make an entrance. Look at him. He got to make an entrance.
my camera is up.
All right, gentlemen, you know how we get down. You each get 2 minutes to talk about your team, brief cooling off period, and a 1 minute rebuttal. Daniel, since you are going to SoFi, sir, you will get the first word. Your 2 minutes, sir, starts right now.
Well, the good news is I think this week we're getting Ben Roethlisberger back. Mason Rudolph was terrible last week. He couldn't throw the ball. Granted, it was raining, but he didn't look that great. First quarter, he was pretty good. After that, he was terrible. Najee Harris keeps running the football hard. He's pounding the rock. He's getting better and better every single week. And I think he's going to be the biggest factor this week, especially when we get Chase Claypool back. And unfortunately, we have some injuries with TJ Watt. He's the hip and the knee. I think he's going to be out this week. And we really don't have a depth on that linebacker since we traded Melvin Ingram to KC a few weeks ago. And Alex Highsmith's been pretty good, but the biggest factor is Najee Harris, the offense. Najee Harris and Ben Roethlisberger. If we can pound the ball, we can run a few play actions on third down. I think it's going to be a really big factor. Najee Harris has been getting better and better. And I think Ben Roethlisberger, even though he was off last week, he hasn't been picked off in how many weeks? 5 weeks. He hasn't been picked off since. And Justin Herbert didn't really look that great last week. He had only a touchdown and interception, less than 200 yards. Kirk Cousins was doing very, very fantastic in Los Angeles, and I think we can steal a victory here. But I'm not expecting us to win. We can steal. It's all up to that offense if they can roll the football down.
Stealing a win in SoFi from JB Ellis's Los Angeles Chargers. JB, what say you, my friend?
So the Chargers have to really wake up and realize that they're letting opportunities slip by the wayside. I mean, they're looking up now at the Chiefs, where they could have controlled their own destiny. They're a game behind the Chiefs. This is a huge game after they blew last week against Minnesota. You can't lose games like that. Now we have Bosa, who tested positive for COVID, so our defense is a little hurt. You know, we're getting better against the run. We held Dalvin Cook to 95 yards last week. That was big. Dalvin Cook's a huge part of that Minnesota offense. So that was a huge victory in that respect. But at the same time, without winning the game, that doesn't mean anything. And those are the types of games that are going to matter. And now we're playing a Steelers team that's going to come in angry after I don't know what they did last week. I mean, I attribute that to not having Big Ben. But the Steelers just looked awful that whole game. And they're going to come in angry. Mike Tomlin's the better coach. So the Chargers are going to have to be on their A game to show up and win this game, and they need to win it because losing 3 out of the last 4, this is a huge day for them.
Okay. He didn't even need a full time. Gentlemen, you each get a minute to respond. Let me know how this is going to play out. Daniel, you go first, followed by JB to close it out tonight.
It's also a big game for us. We're like 5-3-1. We lose this game, we might be out of the playoff race, and this is going to be a big statement game if we can steal a victory in Los Angeles. And I think the offense just needs to pound the football. Give Najee the ball more. We've been passing a lot, and I don't like that from Matt Canada. Giving it Ray McLeod. He's not even that great offensively. I think we just need to pound the football. Najee Harris is going to be the big name in this game. We're going to try and steal a victory here, 21-17, I think.
Wow, 21-17, he says. JB Ellis, what say you, sir?
Chargers got to go back to what they were doing at the beginning of the year. They got to get the ball to Mike Williams more. Need a big game from Eckler. Herbert's got to be patient in the pocket. They got to protect for him. Defense has to do what they did last week against Dalvin. They got to make Najee earn his yards. And they got to play tough. This is a must-win for them because you can't go 2 down to the Chiefs and, still have all these games left because they're going to be looking up an impossible spot. This is a tough division. This is a must-win game, and they just have to play better.
Fair enough. Daniel Baquetigo, the international phenom. Happy Thanksgiving, my friend. JB Ellis, as always, pleasure. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being on Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel. I will definitely talk to both of you gentlemen soon. Please be safe and stay blessed.
Have a good one, Eric.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
I need to get in here. See you, Daniel. That's going to do it for us on Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel. The games that we didn't get to, I'll run down really quick. Tonight's matchup, you got New England at Atlanta. Of course, I'm going with the Patriots on that one. San Francisco at Jacksonville. Listen, Jimmy G doesn't lose, and if Trey Lance plays, guess what? That's even better. I'm going with San Francisco. Here's the game that's very interesting. Miami at the Jets. AFC East matchup. I'm going with the Jets to win this one because the Dolphins are so up and down. I don't know what to expect. But I feel like Robert Saleh, and whether it is Zach Wilson that comes back or Mike White, I feel they got enough in the tank to handle that Miami defense, taking the Jets in that pick. Houston, Tennessee, come on, really? Houston's won one game this whole season, the Titans. And then the biggest game, well, the second biggest game, Colts at Buffalo. All right? Carson, we all know, is my dog. He was. Congratulations on your second child. But Josh Allen is going to be Josh Allen. And yes, even though they did beat the Jets 45-17 last week, they've got to keep the momentum going if they are going to stay course to vie for that number one seed in the AFC and get that bye. And then lastly, the Monday night matchup. Here's what I'm going to say. The Thursday night matchup against Philadelphia. No, I'm sorry. Let's go back to the very beginning. Opening night, okay? Tampa and Dallas. Dallas gave them everything in the tank, but Tampa came out with a victory. Well, then on a short week, Tampa comes to Philadelphia, and then lets Philly back in the game to possibly win it, but they won that one. Well, then they just got handed a butt-whooping, a matchup, if you will, from Tyler Heineke and the Washington football team. Who's left in our division? The New York Football Giants, who Tampa is playing Monday night right here at Raymond James Stadium. I'm going the upset pick, the New York Giants at 3-6, beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Brady, for the second time in his career, loses 3 games back to back to back. We'll see what happens. Hey, everyone have a great Thanksgiving. Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel will be back in December. But until then, as we always say, either you on or you're off.
Carousel, yeah. Carousel, yeah. Carousel, this the carousel. On or you're off, either you're on or you're off, either you're on or you're off. What? Knock 'em out. Carousel, yeah. Carousel, yeah. Carousel, this the carousel. On or you're off, either you're on or you're off, either you're on or you're off.